He insists on being cutting edge. He insists on giving you the very best of not only the technology that's available, but the very best of himself. He has amazing integrity, a lot of patience for those of us who need to hear it about 20 times before it sinks and we actually do what we're told. And he's become a really good friend. So he is a brilliant marketer and a fantastic human being, and I can't wait for you to hear what he has to say so you can learn from him as well. Please welcome my good friend, Gary Schimmel.
Thank you. Thank you. How could you beat that? So how many people woke up this morning and they said, I need a new customer? We all laugh, right? We all said, you know what, we need another customer. I remember when I was younger, making the phone calls, doing the cold calls. You remember that? Yeah. And I remember when you had a dial like this, and you go around and, you know, you're making the call, and then all of a sudden, it's busy. Oh no, I have to do this all over again. Then digital came out. Okay, now we could do it quick, right? So it's boom, 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 hit redial, we got a hold of people. That was awesome, right? Technology changes quickly. Then somebody invented an answering machine. So now we call people and guess what? Leave a message at the tone. And so you make 100 dials and you get a hold of what? One person? Great. So now what do? The other day I picked up the phone on the first ring. And the person was a telemarketer calling me. He goes, I'm like, don't you know what to say when somebody picks up the phone? He's like, no, I get answering machines all day. So this leads us into a whole new world, right? And it's kind of like sex and exercise. You want to do something that you enjoy and you have fun with. Did anybody know podcasting was about that?
Mine is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm going to bring you into a world that you might know something about and you might not, but it's okay because it's very simple. You know, a podcast is only a digital media file. And everybody listens to iTunes, right? Or have listened or knows what it is. It's a digital media file. Well, podcasting really is just taking an audio file, a video file, or a PDF and getting it out to the world. So who would like to do something very simple, not be frustrated? You know, do you ever think about, okay, today I have to, you know, post on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, and what am I going to talk about? What am I going to do? And you get motivated, just like exercise, right? Get motivated and we start working out every day and then we stop. And then you say, why aren't I losing weight? Right? Because you have to be consistent and do the same thing over time. But it's not fun anymore, right? You get frustrated. I don't know what to talk about. Nobody's answering me. And I know all the people here do marketing, right? You guys love what they call spam. Does everybody love spam? Guess what? Has anybody ever received a podcast that was spam? Why? You have to sign up. You have to subscribe. You have to say, I want to listen to your podcast. Right? So you never spam anybody. Isn't that beautiful? We live in the day and age of, you know, getting emails that we don't want. I wake up, I have 100 emails I don't want to listen to. But guess what? I could listen to Dr. Sargent's podcast, learn about leaky gut. I could learn about food sensitivities. But if I'm interested in that, I could go right to the podcast. It downloads right to my phone. And in 2015, every car will be equipped with the capability of streaming media. Guess what that means? You can reach the people that want to be reached. Very simply. So as we go through this, I'm going to show you that all the benefits, how you can use podcasting to ignite your business. And there is a time frame in the next 12 to 18 months with any type of technology. Just like when you went to digital on the phones. Podcasting is going to be the same thing. Everyone's going to start jumping on this bandwagon. You have an opportunity to make a lot of money in the next 12 to 18 months, and you don't want to be left behind. I truly believe this, And I also researched this. I know people making $200,000 a month after 12 to 18 months, 24 months. $200,000 per month. And their total overhead is what? You know, making that kind of money, you think they have a lot of overhead? Oh, $20,000. So the rest is profit. The rest is going on the beach. But guess what you could do while you're on the beach? You could podcast. And I have a client that did this. She walked up and down the beach and was interviewing people for her show. Our very own Dolly McCarthy was podcasting, and she just landed a job with a TV network here in Chicago. Now she is a weather newscaster. Dolly McCarthy.
She
Yeah.
did an interview for me on my website with Jerry Shaw.
Absolutely. So podcasting has brought her from getting divorced with 5 kids, starving, to, you know, the road to success very quickly. And it's a perfect example. A lot of people know her. So why do people use these podcasts? And I see, when I look out in this room, I see why, right? Because all of you are experts. And you want to be positioned as an expert. You know, Brian is reaching thousands of people a month. Guess what? iTunes is promoting his podcast now because so many people are listening to it. And from my own experience, I get people calling me from around the world interested in my services. Isn't it great if you wake up and you have a phone call from somebody that actually wants to use your services, and you didn't have to cold call them, you didn't have to spam them, you didn't have to bother them, and it was fun. Podcasting is intimate, right? Like I said, there's a lot of relationships that we were talking about. Podcasting is intimate because you're only talking to people that want to listen to you. They're not forced like at engaging speakers to sit here and listen to the speaker. So they're really getting what they want. So you say, oh, when do these people have time? Well, when do you have time to listen to an intimate podcast? You're interested in doing it, right? So you could be driving to the engaging speakers, you know, luncheon, and you could be listening to that podcast. You could be going to bed and laying in bed listening to the podcast. You even could be exercising on that exercise bike and listening to that podcast. So you're losing weight, so you could go out and buy some new clothes. And you'll be making money because the podcast is going to help you make that money to buy those new clothes. So it all works together. Now, what else can we do with podcasts? We all struggle getting to know our customers. Do you agree? I don't hear anything. You guys sleeping on me? I know you ate lunch. But right, you want to get to know your customers. You have the opportunity to get intimate with that customer. You can ask questions. You can get them to email you. You get them to call into your show. You could answer their questions. Right? From anywhere. They can leave blogs. They could leave reviews. They can leave, you know, and that helps your reputation. So they could talk about, you know, how much they love your show, just like Steve Dahl. Back in the day, right, we'd listen to Steve Dahl on the radio, how great he was, and he's making millions of dollars, and we're sitting there cutting school to listen to his radio show. No, that wasn't me. Okay, it was. But, you know, this is podcast. The technology is there. And in 2015, every car will be equipped. Remember that. So everybody's phone, everyone's going to have a smartphone. There's billions of smartphones out there. So the next thing is, how do you monetize it, right? That's what you're thinking. Okay, I'm going to do my podcast. What does it take to do a podcast? Anybody have a...
Microphone and recording device.
Well, a microphone and a recording device. Mark knows, right? So your iPhone, right? Right now I could record this and that's my podcast. Right now I could videotape it and it's my podcast, right? It's simple. So you need microphone, a computer, and some software, and you're done. Does that sound simple? Can everybody do that? Now, why wouldn't you do it? Now you're known as the expert, right? You could create products. You know, we have 2 people that have created products in the room from their podcast, right? But we already sold on a teleconference, and was able to bring them to a squeeze page. But where do you get that content from? Now let's do something really magical. Who would like to write a book? You could be in Christine's book, all right? Very simple. You don't have to do a lot of work. Or you can do a podcast. And a podcast, okay, a series of audio files, digital files. Transcribe it, which Dr. Sargent is doing right now. Create a cover and post it where? On Amazon. There you go. Your book is done. And you didn't have to do any extra work. Could you make money from a book? Okay. Affiliate marketing. Okay, I don't want a book. I don't want to deal with creating a product. I don't want to do any of that. But I know that Dr. Sargent and Mr. King has products. Guess what? I'm going to sell them on my show. If you'd like to buy this, use this code. Now I get paid to sell their products. And they're already made. How hard is that? I could interview them on my show. Guess what else happens? I could interview them, ask them to send it out to their list. Guess what I'm doing? I'm hijacking their list. So now that everybody knows them, knows me. And everybody that knows me knows them. So it's a win-win situation. Then we could leverage that into what? Somebody help me. What are we all here for? Speaking. We leverage it for speaking opportunities. So we can send this out to event planners, right? We can send it out to corporations and talk to them about what you speak on. And we already talked about books. Now, what I wanted to bring together is how could you ignite your business with podcasting? And we talked a lot about it. You know, we can use it in all of our marketing. Let's say I want to know about losing weight, and Dr. Sargent has a podcast on what you need to do to lose weight. So she could say, you know, on my podcast show, on this particular episode, 2 minutes in, I talk about 5 easy steps to lose weight. Now she could post it on Facebook, LinkedIn, she could tweet about it, and you have the content with a link to her show, whether it's video or audio or even PDFs. Now how simple is that? Because we're all experts at what we do, we have a lot of value, but it's how do we organize everything that we're doing? So you do a podcast show and you bring it, you put it on your website, you put it on your blog, you could use it in your marketing. You can use it to close sales. Jerry and I had a client that we just did a proposal for, and what we do is we link in the proposal right to the podcast. So if you want to learn more about website audits, listen to this podcast. Now he's saying, wow, these guys really know what they're doing. They're leaders in their field. You know, they're doing what they preach. And guess what? Did we get the business? You know, there's 3 other people. We got the business. And we asked the client why. It's because you guys practice what you preach. And what everybody in this room could do, because I know everybody is an expert. You know, that's why I love coming into engaging speakers, because everybody here is sincere. I use Linda, our whole family used Linda. She did a blood workup and told us all about what we should be, foods to stay away from, what foods we should be eating, that we're healthy, we have oxygen in our system. But you know, she could do a podcast show around that and teach all the people in the world rather than just the people here. So what did I just say? We could reach more people. And that's why we need products and services for those people. Who wants to make money while they sleep? Because we all work too hard. You can use it in your social media like I talked about, and you can use it in your emails. You know, so as you're talking to somebody, you know, when you're typing them an email, you can say, oh, by the way, you know, you have this specific core problem. This is how you can help yourself, or I can help you. And then I link right to that particular episode. So now people know that I'm an expert, but I don't have to keep telling them I'm an expert, right? What I'm doing is I'm helping them, which everybody in this room does. More times than not, people are afraid to make money, right? Because everybody here wants to help people more than they want to make money. Money's a necessity, because the more money you have, the more money you can, you know, the more money will help you help others. Does everybody follow me so far?
Yes.
If everybody's following me, then say, ah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you're still awake. I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. We have Phil Claps from kcprint.com for all your printing needs. Next, we have Allstate Insurance, Mike M., 847-842-4900.